Go. Oh my god, my camera is already failing me. What a muppet. Right, there we go. Hello everyone. Welcome to what round are we in? Round 4 of OTLR. Um Look at me in my 2026 McLaren Polo t-shirt. Give your ratings in the comments. I know what you're saying. Best team on the grid. Best clothes, but probably not. No, it's probably not the best t-shirt on the grid, but I really like it. And yeah, I'm joined by Lanky today. He might sound a bit different from Tom. If you can actually hear him, that would be a great start to the
Yeah.
stream.
Yeah.
But we are here at Hungary. It's a very short circuit. It's 2.7 miles of 14 turns. In qualifying, the person that starts at the front is usually the person that goes the quickest. So whoever goes the quickest today will definitely be starting at the front of the grid. Nobody cares, and the two Red Bulls are definitely ones to be watching for getting pole. The rest of the drivers are a bunch of wild cards, really. So it's gonna be a really close fight. It's obviously not as quick as Division One, but it's still kind of tight in between the intervals of each person. Here are the driver standings. It's still currently led by Nobody Cares, but it's getting really close between the two Red Bulls and him. So he's going to have to do a lot of work to try and secure his P1 in the driver standings. However, for the team standings, losing out on his really quick teammate and former Division 2 champion, he has now fallen back in the Constructors' Championship and now sits on 81 points with a sort of a big gap to Red Bull. So him and Rupsy Cola are definitely going to have to do some fighting and some position swaps if they want to get going. And as I actually look to the game, it's raining. Oh
Yeah.
my! Do we think it's
It's
going to
it's
be
it's
Jet?
almost our favorite conditions.
Yeah. Is it? How close? Oh my god. Okay then. This just went from 0 to 100 straight away. And you know what's more funny? I literally said to them before we started, by the way, I'm paying Lanky to make it rain. So now I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to give Lanky money to make it rain. So it's raining. I'm not giving you anything. I'm sorry. Before I do anything else, I just want to make sure I can hear you on stream actually. Do you mind just saying like a mic test real quick? Lanky is here, guys. Don't worry. He should be able to hear him soon, as it's one of the V carbs that's going to be setting a lap first, and they actually go into the pit. So I don't know if it's getting worse or it's getting drier, but the KFC bloke's about to start his lap, so we'll go on board with him and see what he does. Nicholas retires to serve his quali back.
Think of a different word.
Sorry. Oh.
Oh, there you are. My Discord decided to have a moment again.
Oh.
It loves doing this.
Right, what will pole times be? I don't think most of the drivers are going to be expecting a wet qualifying session, so who knows who will grab pole at this point. But so far the KFC bloke's first one to go and set a time, and I still can't tell if it's getting wetter or drier. Right. KFC boat going on a very slidey lap. The track is definitely wet. You can tell by the rain falling. But yeah, see what he can do as he comes towards the end of sector 3. Few final more corners. You're gonna have to add Lanky in the Discord, and he will invite you. Cause yeah, our race Salguero needs an invite. KFC bloke crosses the line, and for a benchmark, it's a 29-1. Somebody cares beats that benchmark by a whole second well, almost a whole second in a bit. His teammate is right behind KFC bloke Javintrix. Also goes P2 with 29-2, so a really strong lap from Nobody Cares. who is one of the Red Bulls. Can one of the Red Bulls get ahead of Nobody Cares? And yes, they can by a tenth. That is a great lap from Griffin. What can his teammate Lewis do? He's gonna have to put in a strong lap here if he wants to get ahead of his teammate, or at least ahead of Nobody Cares. The fight is between Snowbody and Griffin. He crosses the line, goes even quicker by almost just under a second, so that is a really strong lap from the two Red Bulls. What can this second Williams do? A vengeance game, a debut last time out, I think, or it was Mexico was his debut actually, I'm not quite sure, but he has been... Wait, that is a new livery that I haven't seen, and why haven't I got it? I need that Williams livery. That is great. It's a bit unfair. Why don't I have that? But anyway,
Yeah, well, that's my first time seeing it too.
Yeah.
To be fair, I didn't even notice like the white on the front.
Someone
nice,
sent me a picture of it the other day, but I thought it was just some like fake, modded one that you can get onto career mode. But
no, I like that. How do you get it?
I have no clue. I need to find out. Ropsy Curler, is he on a second flying lap? No, he's not. Who is on a lap? Wolfren is on a lap. But his teammate ahead of him was also on one, so we're going with him first. But he's on the grass, so he won't be able to set a valid or a representative time so far. Do I think some of the drivers that haven't came out to the pits yet are waiting to see if it dries up? With a wet quali, it's always about who's the very last one to set a lap. Because if they got the pace, then that could be pole for them. And one thing I'm surprised I haven't seen yet is some of the drivers, I don't know about you, but when you're doing a wet quali, do you do your laps over and over again until you have to pretty much set a new set of tyres on? Or do you do your lap, go into the pit and go again?
I usually do like 2 hot laps on a intermediate. So I'll put like 5 laps of fuel in, do it out, hot, recharge, hot, and then go in.
Speaking of, the KFC bloke had a massive slide coming out of that corner, still going for another lap. Was 3 temps up, but I imagine he's got, oh no, a second, 1.2 seconds now. Hopefully that will jump him up to P2, I think. So it definitely is getting drier. We're probably in the direct conditions right now. Yeah, you served it correct, don't you worry. The only way you don't start last now is that if someone gets disqualified and the KFC bloke grabs the provisional pole, but that is because the track is ramping up, so I imagine some more drivers will be setting some laps soon. Saying that Griffin is about to cross the line, 8 tenths up in his time. He goes probably provisional pole, yeah, it's 27.2, so people are gaining time really quickly. What about his teammate Lewis? Lewis is the main Red Bull, well, obviously not the main Red Bull driver in like papaya rules, but he is the one that's going to be having to help his teammate. If I don't actually know how closely, I would have to double check, but he grabs provisional pole 26.6. So with all these times getting quicker, it means the track is getting drier, which means they'll be setting quicker lap times.
I think it's actually stopped raining now.
Oh, I
can't see any raindrops coming down at all.
So with 10 minutes left, I don't think it'll be fully dry yet. So I think everyone will come out and do the relative dry quality times towards the very end.
Yeah, if it stays dry from now to the end, they should be able to get some decent slick runs in.
Our DRS is enabled, so yeah, it's definitely time for it's definitely time. Actually, who is the first driver that will be setting a soft tyre run? Ropsy Cola, I believe. So go on board with him soon and see what he can do in the Aston Martin. The only few cars to not get a livery this game, which is kind of disappointing. Even though, did they have that many custom liveries? They had the one in Silverstone, right? The British flag, or was that last year?
I think each team runs 2 a year, isn't it? I believe.
Yeah.
Or 2 races or something.
Alright, so every driver into the pits probably just put a new set of softs on. Did Ropsy Cola time this correctly, or will he still struggle on this lap? We shall see as he comes to set a time. I predict pole within like dry conditions to be low 15s, potentially high 14s, depending if some drivers have practiced. But we'll see. Ropsicola currently sat on a 29.3. See how much he's improving. It'll give us a rough idea of the times he'll be setting. What do they? 1.2 seconds up. What do they call this track? It's like the like Monaco with no rules, right? So qualifying is going to be very important. And if nobody cares down in P10, he's going to have to set the lap of a lifetime. It's one small mistake. It's going to cost him. I do have my toes crossed for some wet weather racing, if I'm being honest. That would definitely start some things up. 3.9 seconds is the improvement from Ropsicola here. So that would only be low 20s right now, but still like a sector and a bit to go. Or just less than a half sector to go. We'll see what you can do in sector 3. This will be the new benchmark for the dries. 22.3 goes P1 for now. Did Andreas just go P2 with one of those intercept? I mean, yes, it's dry, so obviously he would. I think the V-carb is on a lap. He crosses the line. Would it be quicker than Ropsicola? No, it's not. It's... Ooh. Yeah, it's 1.3 seconds slower. Well, with the track drying up, this will be really good for the two Red Bulls. They definitely want to be getting a 1-2 here if they want to secure some extra points for constructors. Do you get a point for pole here? I don't think so, right? No. It's just quickest lap.
I believe so, yeah.
Might have to double check that. KFC Luke is on a lap. Comes towards the end of sector 1. How much is he going to be improving by? 2.7 seconds. As he invalidates. So, you know what? Never mind. For the people that tag along this stream quite often, you might see a name that's missing. Sid is not racing today. If you remember last time Sid was around Hungary, I think he crashed into the pits. So that is definitely one less chance of a safety car. To go on board with Ty Clear. He's on a lap currently. You might be able to get a nice tow from the Red Bull ahead. 2.3 is what he's up on. Piney Penguin sets with 1 minute 20. And then, yeah, these times are definitely getting quicker. You can see the gap starting to build. Heat mix of a 20.4. So not completely optimal conditions, but it's enough where anyone could get pole at this point. I wonder if anyone's going to leave it to the last minute, which I don't think they will, because only 4 people need to set a lap, and so far everyone is out on track. 7.1 seconds he's improving by, so he might be on here to grab provisional pole for the final 5 minutes. Where do we predict Ty Clear's going to be? Do we think it's going to be provisional pole? Cross the line for P3. Unfortunate there, but improved by 10 seconds.
Yeah, them times are going to come tumbling down these next couple of minutes.
Nobody cares, it's improving. Is it enough for provisional pole? Yes, it is. 9 tenths quicker than Lewis. That is going to be a really strong lap for him. What about Griffin? Is Griffin on the lap? We go on board with him because he is going to be the main person fighting Nobody Cares in this championship fight. Can he even snatch it from Nobody Cares? I imagine he can with the massive improvements that are going on. No, he can't. 2 tenths behind, and that is going to be devastating. They have time to go again, but they're going to have one final chance if they want to go and set a good lap and get ahead of Nobody Cares. Speaking of his teammates in the pit, so he definitely needs to pick up the pace if he wants to try and help Aston Martin secure some more points. Predictions for the race, Lanky? Have you been keeping up with Division 2? Do you know who's where and who's going to be doing what?
I have been looking in at the races. I normally race myself on Tuesdays, so
Oh yeah.
I do a bit of both. I usually look at the race back sometimes. Yeah, I don't know on this one at the minute. I think maybe once I see the conditions of the race, maybe like maybe it'll be a bit easier.
I actually didn't see this, but Ty Clear and Alberta Tetris P3 and 4 ahead of Lewis. They split the Red Bulls. Everyone's going to come in and try and get the very last laps in. I think the track is pretty dry now, as everyone's, well, provisional pole is 116. I am yet to see a Ty Clear Ty Whisperer this season. Every time I think he'll go for the one stop, he doesn't. So this could be the race, unless it rains. And Gamer, is he on a lap? Yeah, he is, improving by 7 seconds in sector 2. Where does he go when he crosses the line? It will be P7, 17.42 temps behind his teammate. I believe that is everyone that's set a lap, or Ty Clear is actually on another lap, so he got the fuel and win again. How much is he improving by in sector 1? Had a bit of traffic ahead of him, not improving, only 7 milliseconds down. This time Bullen goes P4, just behind his teammate as well, so good positions for the Ferraris. Four attempts is all he has to find for provisional pole. Everyone should be out on the lap now for the final run. Still not improving. Maybe sector 3 is where all the time is defined. Right now, I don't think he'll be gaining any more positions. It will be costly since everyone will be improving. 1 minute 20 left. Coming towards the final corner now. You want to go full throttle, pretty much where he is now. Go on board with him. What can he do as he crosses the line? Will it be provisional pole? No, it's not. He's just under a tenth slower. What can his teammate do? His teammate is not on a lap, so that he might have time to go again. I think the V-Carb is on a lap. He's improving by 2.5 seconds. Right now, that won't be enough to get anything or to set a competitive time. As he spins round, goes into the wall and destroys his front wing, that will be his run over, and most likely starting P19 once everyone sets their valid laps. What about Wolfrin? Is Wolfrin, he just started his lap. Pipe Tech, he's on a lap, so go on board with him, or he's just started one. We can go on to Mira, who's actually he's been on some good form in the past few races. See what he can do. Can he get into the top 5? He's shown his pace in Division 2. He can definitely fight for the win, or at least a podium. What can he do? He's coming towards the end of Sector 2 now. How much will he be up by? 1.6 seconds. Is that enough? I think it might just about be. Definitely could put him into the top 5 if no one improves. Andreas, his lap is set in stone, 16.8. Same with the Williams with a 17.2. So their laps are all over. What can Mira do? JB goes P3, 16.4. Just ahead of Ty Clear. Mira goes provisional. Oh no, P2, sorry. Just 20 milliseconds slower than Nobody Cares. That is definitely going to be unfortunate for him. What about Wolfbrin? Wolfbrin down, about to cross the line. P10 with a 17 flat. The KFC bloke, he's 8 tenths up. Does have a bit of traffic ahead of him. That dirty air is going to affect him. Sitting in P19. Can he improve? If not, it's going to be pretty costly. Cross the line for provisional pole. That is an amazing lap from him. Can Nobody Cares do anything to respond to this? Sit in a 16 flat, 4 attempts behind. Comes towards the final few corners now. Got his teammate in front of him. Maybe he can use him as a tow. Lewis goes P2. Isn't able to get pole. Sits behind just by a tenth. What can Somebody Cares do? Gets a tow from his teammate. 15.1, and that is going to be him sitting on provisional pole with a big margin, must I say, to P2. That is a great lap from him. That is everyone's lap done. And you know what, Lanky? Formula 1 rewards speed. And that why is Nobody Care is in P1 with a 15.1. A brilliant lap for his final running. And Griffin, well, almost 1.1 seconds behind. This is going to be costly for his championship chances if he can't overtake. Because people say this track is Monaco without rules. So from what we've seen so far, he can gain positions probably from strategy, but he's going to have to be really careful with his tyres if he wants to do so. So while we do that, let me actually let me get everyone to retire quickly. Yeah, that is Nobody Cares in P1, the KFC bloke P2, and Lewis in P3. Ropsicola missing out by only a tenth to get P4. Mira had a really good qualifying. His run of form has been going on excellent. In Griffin falling back just a bit. I don't think that's a relative lap to what he can actually be setting, but maybe his final one just didn't go the way it wanted. Right. You know what? Let's go back and admire this McLaren t-shirt, shall we, guys? Look at that. You know, I opted for the polo shirt because I thought the polo shirt looked better than the main t-shirt. And you know what? I am a McLaren fan, but I was this close to buying a V-carb t-shirt. I don't know about you, Lanky, but I think they have the best clothes of the season. Them and maybe Ferrari. Right. Let's go back. Well, if we didn't have a lobby restart, it would have been dry. So that means we definitely have a good chance of it being wet for the race. And I'm fingers crossed that it's not. Fingers crossed that it's not. Well, you know what, Doctor Still, if you're on chat, we would like to use some of your luck because I kind of want it to rain. Right, as all the drivers just retired from the race, I will. Let's actually let's who will be winning the Lobby Restart Championship. Oh my god, everyone is out. That was quick. Damn. I don't think I've ever seen a quicker lobby restart. Everyone crashed out before turn 3. Alright then. That was something. You know what, Glitch 10, if you're in the stream, take note, okay? Because that is what we need to see from you. No more waiting around to the final line of the sector. You want to retire before turn 1. You know what? He's kind of lucky that I'm not racing tomorrow because I would have grabbed pole by like a whole second. Let's go to the calendar while we wait. So far, Brazil, Mexico, Singapore, and we are at Hungary now. Next track is Australia, and then Silverstone, Monza. We are on for a pretty good treat for the next 3 races, and then we go on to the tracks that, you know, are kind of tough. Sample, Japan, Las Vegas, which would have been the final round if the DLC came out on time, but you know what? It's not. It's delayed, so we'll be in for a full 12 race season. I know some places cut their seasons short because they thought it would be coming out in end of April, but you know what? It's not. Which I'm kind of excited for the DLC. And if it's disappointing, then you know what? I give up. I'm going to Mario Kart. So that's going to be more like F1 than the actual F1 games. I can't believe you watched my spin live. Hey, you was on a lap, alright? You know what? Maybe it's the curse. I go on to you and you spin. I might have to try that with Nobody Cares. What was this quote I saw for lights out? I need to use that for lights out. Right. I need to find it. You know what? That is a brilliant one. Right. 5 minutes on, which means the race is not start. Oh, God. You know what? Let's see. We just get the grid set, and then we'll get going. You know how much stress is now off my shoulders now that I currently don't have to do the grid while also trying to entertain the stream. This is fun. You know what? Thank you, Lanky. I appreciate it. He's locked in trying to get the grid set. Uh, but yeah, I'm just speaking to myself. You know what? If I have one skill, it's that I'm a very good waffler. And people I work with, they usually tell me to shut up because I can't stop speaking. So, you know what? I can't stop speaking, which is pretty good for someone that wants to be in a commentary. You know? You know what, right? Ricky, are you in the Twitch chat? If not, then that's very poor from you. You should be supporting your Division 2 drivers and praying that nobody cares crashes on lap 1. Obviously, I'm joking. As a commentator, I don't have any bias towards the drivers. I want them to all finish this race with 0 safety cars. Maybe except Sid. Sid is an exception, but I think people will find that acceptable. You can't hear Lanky, that's because Lanky is not currently speaking. He is locked in trying to get the grid set. I mean, hopefully you've been able to hear Lanky this entire qualifying session, because if not, oh, I will be fuming. No, yeah, you can't currently hear him trying to get the grid set, I believe. But I hope so anyway. Close quali. You know what?
Yep.
Nobody cares.
You'll have to ready up.
Okay. Ready up.
Yep. We're all good now. I don't think they could have heard me. No, they should be able to.
I hope so.
That's the question. Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can. Couldn't hear me in quali. Oh, okay. I
No,
didn't
they should have been able to.
play too much though. In a quali.
Yeah, I was gonna
Right.
say I'm usually just waffling, so you definitely could hear him. Because if you can hear him now, then you could have hear him then. Because yeah, I haven't changed anything.
Yeah.
You know what? They're really good at retiring from the session, but sometimes they do take ages to ready up in lobby. And you know, sometimes I think some people just don't ready up on purpose, just to make it
Just
longer.
wait for the countdown. Yeah.
Yeah, just wait for the countdown. Right. Any predictions for this race?
Oh, it's cloudy. Predictions. I don't think the pole sitter will win.
That is a very bold prediction, and you know what? I think I'm with you on that one. Or do you think
Yeah.
we'll have a new winner of this season? So far, it's either been the Aston or the Red Bulls, so who knows?
Lewis is there and starting in P3. Yeah, I'll probably go with Lewis. Maybe.
I think Mira has a pretty good chance. He's been really close sometimes, but either got caught out from a safety car or his strategy just didn't go the way he wanted. So I'll give it one go at 30. Do you think it's going to rain at any point in this race?
I mean, it looks murky. So possible. Dry start, wet ending. Might make for a good race set.
What do you prefer if it started dry then ended wet, or started wet ended dry? Or doesn't really matter.
I think starts dry and then ends wet because I think it's more like unpredictable on when to go in for the wet tire sometimes, especially if like it's not absolutely hammering down.
Yeah. Like,
But getting off of them, the lines seems to dry pretty quick, and everybody was sort of it's a bit easier. Like everybody, yeah, I think it's more unpredictable the other way around.
yeah.
You know, dry first, wet at the end.
Right. Let's get going. I think they've had long enough to get their setups and the strategy down. That was the first time in 2 races no one readied up before instructed to do so. So you know what? Things are turning around. Maybe, maybe my tier coordinator skills are getting better.
People getting more used to the routine now as well.
Yeah, 4 races in, everyone should know how each other drives. Obviously, if you get a bunch of new people, which honestly I think Division 2, oh, alright, when the 5 lights go out, they will disappear and the race will begin. Here we go, who's going to get the better start? Would it be the KFC bloke or Snobody Cares? The game is quiet, the scene hasn't changed, but the KFC bloke has a really slow start. Lewis goes actually into P1. He's done a Charles Leclerc. P3 to P1 is still sort of wheel to wheel with Lewis and Snowby. That was an amazing start from him. Somebody Cares just managing to stay ahead. To KFC look trying to use the inside to see if he can gain any advantage on those two, but it doesn't. But Nobody Cares stays P1. Lewis from P3 to P2 with an amazing start as Nicholas in the V-carb drops back spun. He's in P16 now. Keeps on going. That allows Rupsicola to grab up to P14. And so far this has been a great start for the two drivers ahead. Griffin's going to have to get some moves done if he wants to try and still fight Somebody Cares in the title fight, since he's the closest driver to him. Williams of Vintrix, he is in P12, and then he is also getting chasing down the Haas. There's a bit of a gap starting to form between him and the McLaren. Some scrapping going on at the back with Piney Penguin and the Haas. Peeking the V-carb just ahead of him as Piney Penguin has actually gone off track and crashed into a wall, so we don't know what happened there. We've gone back at the front runners. Will Griffin be able to make any moves on the straight? I'd like to see the difference between the wing setups, as I think Piney Penguin is...
He was beached.
He was beached. Well,
He went off and then
yeah.
he was beached on that hairpin.
That's unfortunate. Alberta Tetris being able to get past Tyre Clear. Piney Penguin comes into the pits. We have a lap on retirement. Unfortunate for him. Don't know what happened at the back there. Sure, we'll find out later. Is Tyre Clear about to go for a move on Alberta Tetris? Very difficult track to overtake. If you want to overtake, you've got to be really brave in some of these corners if you want to try and outbrake the person ahead of you. as Pipe Tech
Oh,
gets
yeah,
back
push
ahead.
off him.
Vengeance. No movement near the front, but towards the back we've got plenty of movement here. Vengeance Gamer drops back from Pipe Tech. RSL Gero is almost out of DRS from the Williams driver as well. What do we think the strategy is here? Do you think driver's going to go for a 2-stop or a 1-stop?
Yeah, I'd say the 2. Just with the amount of change of direction there is, it does eat a lot out of the tyres.
Oh, as we have a virtual safety car, something happened in that final corner. I don't know if it was coming into the pits or maybe just rode the curb too much while entering the corner, but he spun out and he is out of this race for a first virtual safety car of the session. During this virtual safety car, people can either gain a bunch of time or lose a bunch of time, and right now the KFC bloke has lost quite a bit of time. Depending on how long this virtual safety car is, it might cost him, but it doesn't seem to be. Back onto green lights. The KFC bloke is chasing down Lewis. He's also under threat from somebody Kez's teammate. Do you think the new regulations will be good for tracks like this? Because I think there'll be more overtakes instead of just massive DRS trains, right?
It depends. Yeah, I think it depends where the boost mode zones are.
I thought that's something you can use anywhere as long as... Or is it not?
Was it a straight mode thing where they do the wings? Whatever they call it. They've got the boost mode and the straight mode, don't they?
Oh,
Straight zone mode or something with the wings. It confuses me at the minute.
basically Formula E at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I haven't got my head fully around it. It's just all battery this, battery that. It's like, where's the combustion?
So far, no movements have been made. We've got some movement at the back. JB gets ahead of Griffin. Vintrix gets ahead of Wolfrin. Those two could be fighting. So Griffin, obviously not the strongest of tracks for him. Currently sat in P6. Clear gets ahead of Alberto Tetris, claims P9. Ferrari have been on a good run of points. I think when it comes to the constructors, I think the Ferrari are better than like the best of the rest. I think that's the saying, right? I think that's the saying anyway. But yeah, they've been on some really good runs recently. Istanbul and Clear. Actually, speaking of Istanbulin, I don't know if this is true or not, but I believe this is his home race. So hopefully he can score some points for Ferrari. It's always nice scoring your points in your home race. Alberto Tetris comes into the pits. Might have picked up some wing damage. You know, it might come like a shock to majority of people watching, but my first ever win in an F1 League race was at Silverstone. So who knows, maybe Istanbulin could win this race. So Vintrix chasing down the Haas.
It's still staying pretty tight though between the front 10. We've got one that's out of tie that's just gone out of DRS, but all following pretty closely still.
When do we think they're gonna pit if it is a 1-stop? I imagine they'll be going on for quite a while on these medium tyres. Oh, as that's a Haas driver off the track. You don't want to be off the track, as you will definitely lose some time when you touch the grass. But these guys still fighting. Haas driver still ahead. Who is that actually? Is that Wolfrin? Can Wolfrin actually utilize this and get past the Williams? The Williams staying close behind, trying not to pick up any damage. In doing so, is going slowly. Is he about to get overtaken twice? Vintrix overtakes him. What can the Alpine do? Go side by side. Can he get ahead coming out of this corner? as he does. So that's Yeet Mix losing out to 2 positions there. Vengeance Gamer gets a 3-second penalty. First one of the day. Salguero gets ahead of Vengeance Gamer. Vengeance Gamer has got major wing damage actually. He's missing both of his front wings. As expected, the car just doesn't turn. The top 10, well, top 9, almost all within DRS of each other. Who do we think is going to come out with the right strategy play here? So far, we've seen Red Bull do it before, and they was able to, I think, use it to almost get the win in Mexico. Obviously, somebody cares just about had the pace to catch up and overtake on the last, well, the very last lap. Mira about to make a move on the Red Bull. No, he stays behind Griffin for now. Vengeance Gamer comes into the retire to pit. With that wing damage, I don't think he would have been back into this race. As we start to see 2 massive groups start to form. Those front 9 and then those groups of 3 and 2 just behind. 7 laps into this race, we have 3 retirements so far. Vintrix is struggling. Maybe he's already cooked his tyres a bit too much. Had a massive wiggle coming out of that corner. Or has he got wing damage? No, so maybe he's just struggling around this track. Imagine Wolfram be able to make a move. Williams without DRS. Is he close enough? 3/10, sure he should be. Williams doesn't really defend that as much as I thought he would. Tie clear, now definitely within DRS of Mira. Actually, these 2 drivers still wheel to wheel. Coming in sector 1. That's really close racing. Almost collides. Managed to keep it clean though. The fight for the final point position is definitely on. Wolfram sits in that spot just for now.
Yeah, I think for the one stop, maybe we'll see pit stops around lap 16, 17.
Well, if the case, I wonder who will pit first. I feel like it is pretty much dependent on who, like, if it stays as close as it is right now, I think it's just going to depend on who pits first.
Yeah, the undercut.
I think it's pretty strong around here. It's a short track, so...
Yeah, if you manage to get yourself back out into some clean air.
Got some yellow flags. I think that might be like, no, never mind. Well, speaking of a pit, as Ropsy Cola comes in kind of early, so he must definitely be on for the 2 stop then, if he's pitting now.
Yeah, I'd have thought 9, 10 for the 2 stop, 9, 10 on the medium, another, and then hards for 15, 16 laps.
The gaps are starting to form a bit. Griffin dropped back from JB. JB almost falling back from the KFC bloke. But you know what? I think Rupsy Cola pitting right there might have stirred the pot a little bit when it comes to the undercuts, because now the DRS train is just sort of broken. Unless Griffin can't catch back up, it might be a bit tough.
We got yellow.
Oh, that's the KFC bloke in the wall. He manages to keep on going, or at least spun. Drops down to P7.
Oh, I think we're seeing, yeah, they're committing to the two-stop, I think, here. So nobody's
Oh,
on his way in,
maybe
and
so.
Lewis.
So if they're all pitting now, we'll stay on board with Ropsicola, as I think he could potentially take the provisional lead here, depending on what Griffin and JB do, unless they stay out. I don't know if this is the right call between those two. I think also Lewis, it might have just been a bit of a reaction to Nobody Cares, because I know last time out these guys were in a sort of a strategy battle. Nobody Cares lost out, and then the next time they pitted, they both came in the same time. So maybe it was a bit of like a panic box, as actually Somebody Cares stays ahead of his teammate, but will his teammate be fighting in full position? Doesn't look like it. Actually, Ropsicola is defending off Lewis, so
Yeah,
this
he's
could
going
be
to play his
huge.
teammate game
Yes,
here.
yeah.
Slow that Red Bull down as much as he legally can.
And so far, it seems
He's
to be
doing
doing
well.
a great job at it. Yeah, he's doing an amazing job of holding him up for his teammate. Hopefully they don't collide. I think there was just a bit of contact there. Wasn't able to get an onboard view. But yeah, that is great teamwork
As
between
this
those
goes
two.
on, Lewis is just going to get more frustrated and frustrated. He just needs to bide his time knowing he's on the fresher tyre. Well,
Somebody,
not too much, but it's only a couple laps in it between them, but he's still fresher tyre nonetheless.
somebody cares, makes a move around the inside of the Haas driver. Actually, Griffin pits as well. So maybe definitely, Ryber's definitely going for the two-stop here. I don't think Ty Clear or JB will. I think they will extend their runs as much as they can, especially Ty Clear with his one stops back in season 4 where he won Silverstone Reverse. That was actually a pretty special race, to be honest. I don't know how he did that. The one and only driver to do a one stop, and he do the same today. It looks with the other drivers, definitely a two stop. So I wonder what their strategy is if it is a two stop. Ropsicola
Yeah, I
still
think it's
defending.
going to be, medium, and then it's going to be hard, and it like 12, 13 on each.
Yeah. So the undercut didn't work as well for Ropsicola. Griffin falls back just a bit behind Alberta Tetris. That one extra lap cost him 4.4 seconds really. I mean, it's the cost of being the driver behind, I guess, but
Oh, Lewis is still behind Ropsy though.
I mean, I think he will stay like that as well, because right now Nobody Cares is the provisional lead. So Ropsicola P2, all they got to do is just help each other with DRS, and I don't think Lewis will be able to overtake. As Wolverine goes for a dive on Vintrix, manages to make it stick, watches a bit wide. Can Vintrix get the switchback? And I believe he does. Stays P6 for now. Close fighting between these two. All 12 laps of this race. Nice to see who will come out on top by the end of it. Nicholas is joining. Goes a bit wide. For the one stop, I imagine these front drivers will be pitting for the next 3 laps. If there's a safety car, that will be crucial for at least one of the Ferraris. Probably Ty Clear, since he's the driver ahead. But with the two-stop strategy, I'm not sure, to be honest. I haven't really done this track that much. It's going to be very interesting towards the end of this race. We'll see how close it gets. It usually gets pretty spread out between near the end of the race. Wolfrin. Oh, there's a bit of a bump there as he goes towards the inside. Still fighting. Wolfrin gets ahead. Yellow flag. Who is that? Is that Istanbulin?
Ferrari.
Yeah, he spins around, has major front wing damage. Is able to keep on going. Hopefully he doesn't defend. Yeah.
Maybe clip the grass out of turn 1.
That's unfortunate for him. He's definitely going to lose out quite a few positions, as he's already almost dropped out of the points.
Yeah, this lap is just going to be horrible to trundle that car back. With no wing at all, he's just going to have so much understeer.
Anyway, I'm back with my microwave curry in my hands. Nobody cares. Right behind Nicholas now. They are back within the DRS train. So they're going to have a massive advantage when all 6 of the drivers, well 7 of the drivers ahead of them, didn't mean to do that by the way. When all these drivers pits, they're going to have the advantage.
Just realised. I didn't even notice until you said it.
You know, I hate that train because now I can't even count without someone pointing it out. Somebody gets ahead of Nicholas. This is definitely helping him. Is he about to make another move on Vintrix? He is flying through this field. Gets up to P6. And now the gap between him and Lewis is quite big. And Somebody Cares is going to have a big advantage here. All he has to do is get past Wolfrin, and then he has some clean air for maybe like a lap or two. Actually, I think most of the drivers ahead of him will be looking to pit around about now. Ropsicola did a really good job to defend off Lewis. And it has cost the 2 Red Bulls. Both are sat behind him.
KFC under pressure now from Mirror. Mirror's forcing him onto the outside. Mirror's looking for the switchback. Can't get the traction out of turn 1 for it, and now that it's put Snowbody onto his back end, so he's having to also defend as well as try and attack. Oh, that was weird.
Oh, he's in the wall!
Yeah, that
Save
was
the
weird.
car!
The way
Well,
he
not.
turned left and then the car just snapped to the right.
That is, well,
That
his
was really
tyres were
weird.
cooked. Look at the onboard.
Did he get a puncture as he started to steer? It was literally he turned left and then just the car snapped to the right as soon as he tried to turn.
That's
That
unfortunate.
was weird. I've clipped that. That's I'll let you see that afterwards. That was really weird.
Well, he spun into the runoff. So unfortunately for Nobody Cares, no safety car. Unfortunate for Ty Clear.
Yeah, if that's a puncture, it had to be a rear with the way it. It was almost like, you know, how Max locked up when he just
Yeah.
touched the brake in the car. That's how KFC's car just sort of went as soon as he put any steering input in. Just yeah, that was really strange.
Because I think Somebody Cares was able to gain like a 4-second gap to the people he was fighting behind. But yeah, I caught on to the last second. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I'll put the clip in once it's uploaded. I'll put the clip in. It was just like, yeah, I don't know how to properly explain it. It was just a big snap.
This has been a really strong race for the 2 Aston Martins.
Yeah. Rootsy doing Snowbody, you know, a lot of favours. Snowbody owes him a thank you after this one if Lewis can't get back to him.
If he can maintain this gap, and he goes for his second pit stop, he's still going to be comfortably in the lead.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually impressed that Rob Sicolo has been able to stay ahead of the Red Bulls for this long, actually. With all the fighting that's been going on, I thought there would have been at least some swaps around.
Yeah, and then Nicholas as well. They're currently running in P2, starting at the back with that qualifying ban. He's having a strong drive so far.
I think one person we definitely should be keeping an eye on is JB and Ty Clear, the only drivers committing to the one stop. So if there isn't a safety car and they can manage their tyres well, I think they'll be able to go to the end and potentially maybe pick up a podium, maybe even a win, depending on how the rest of the race goes. But Nicholas is defending pretty heavily from Lewis and Griffin. There's already a DRS gap between him and Ropsy Cola. These guys fighting side by side. Lewis gets ahead. Griffin's going to have to do the same thing now. Can he get it done? No, he can't. He's still stuck behind Nicholas. He's the one that's going to have to get as many positions as he can. I think at this current time, he'll fall back to third, and Lewis will be the highest scoring Red Bull in the standings. Griffin finally gets past. So an Aston Martin 1-2 and a Red Bull 3-4. The Alpine Reserve is doing pretty well to be P6 right now. One of the two drivers on the one stop. Actually, if we're looking at the weather, I think it might actually rain. If you go on board, the sky's getting darker and darker.
Yeah, it was pretty miserable at the start. And yeah, let's say it's got sort of that sort of hazy look to it, isn't it now?
I feel like if there is a safety car, it definitely will rain. But at the current time, I think it might be like the last lap or two. If it rains, it definitely will stir some things up, which I do kind of want. I think rain on tracks you can't really overtake. It's kind of better because it, anything can happen at that point.
Yeah. But Aston Martin as it stands 1-2, and then Red Bull 3-4.
Not for long. Lewis is alongside Ropsy Cola. Who's going to stay alongside Ropsy with the inside line? Oh, what? That was a close move from Griffin. Dives on his teammate. Almost collide. Backs out of it just for now. That was I don't think that would have been a right move from Griffin if he was to collide with his teammate and they both spin. That was a really close call for those two. The grid stays how it is for now. Ropsy Cola still in P2. Hype Tech making a move on Vintrix to get, oh no, stays behind for now. Tries to make a move. This Haas driver holding up the majority of the drivers. 15 seconds is the gap to tie clear. Haas driver struggling just a little bit.
Nobody has just checked out as it stands at like 7 seconds.
Was 5 seconds a few laps ago. I think if he is to pit, he's going to pit in the next few laps or so. Ropsy Cola's
both the Red Bulls get through out of turn 1. But Griffin got through on his teammate as well in that. No, yeah, Griffin was behind.
Yeah, he was P4, so that was big moves for Griffin. It's definitely the type of moves he needed. Ropsy Cola's going to have to get a move on if he wants to try and claim any more points for Red Bull. I think the title fight would go down to the last race. I mean, unless any of these drivers miss the races. I do kind of want it to go down to the very last one. The Haas drivers fell back quite a bit. It was P9, now dropped back to P13. Maybe just tyres are a bit too cooked or picked up some damage somewhere. But all of that was able to help out Vintrix, so that 3-second penalty, he will be staying P8 if it was to finish it as it is. Nicholas finally comes into the pits. Did he start on the hards? I think he did. Yeah, he did. He had 20 laps on the hards, so that was a pretty impressive stint from Nicholas. He should still be able to stay in the points. I think it will be close. If not, he's going to be right in the pack that isn't moving. Unless all of these drivers obviously pit again.
Quicker tyre as well, wouldn't he?
But with this train ahead of him, he's going to find it pretty difficult to try and get past.
And Alberto in front of him is on 5-lap old hard.
JB and Ty Clear have done really well to catch up to the front four. And with them on the one stop, with this many laps to go, I think we could maybe see a surprise win from a different driver.
Yeah, there's still going to be a fair bit of shuffling to go on yet with this grid between now and the end.
If this is the case, I think Rapsicola should pit maybe this lap or next lap, as that was pretty, don't know what's happened there, but JB almost getting past the Rapsicola. I think he'll be able to get past Rapsicola if he has the traction. He does so, gets ahead, up into P4. Can Ty Clear do the same thing? If I was Rapsicola, I would probably pit this lap and go into another set of hards to the end if he has a set. That was a good move from JB, it's exactly what he needed, and is now sitting on P4, only 1.2 seconds behind Lewis. Nobody Cares comes into the pits. What will Griffin and Lewis do? One of them will definitely be pitting now. Who will it be first? It was neither of them. But are they planning to go to the end on those tyres? 13 laps. I don't think it's possible. We'll see. I think maybe at least one of them should have pitted. We've had time to see him come into the pits and should have followed, but maybe they got a different strategy on board. We'll see. That puts JB in the podium spots if he was to finish the race on these tyres. Istanbulin grabs up to P8. Gets ahead of Nicholas, who was able to get through this field pretty quickly and has now got past the Ferrari, so with clean air he should be able to catch up to where he once was pretty easily. 11 seconds is the gap from Nobody Cares to P1. Wolfrin said if he can get an invite back. I think he might have disconnected. Yeah, he's disconnected.
I don't know if it can pop up on my screen, so apologies for that. I shall go get him. Wolfrin. Yeah.
Oh, so JB is not going for the one stop. He's going for a two stop. Goes on a second set of hards. Ty Clear up into P2. I imagine Griffin will be pitting soon. Ty Clear on 8-lap old tyres. I mean, if Nicholas can go 20 laps, so can Ty Clear pretty easily. So could he potentially be getting a podium, maybe even a win, if Nobody Cares can't catch up within the next 11 laps.
Okay, I think that's will bring back.
Right, let's have a look. Tie Clear catching Griffin. 1.1 is the gap. Nobody Cares is actually catching as quite a bit as well. It was 7 seconds, now 5.5. So Ropticola also fell off quite a bit. P8 he is currently. I think Nobody Cares has locked this win in, if I'm being honest. I don't see Griffin being able to go to the end. You can even, like, with the amount of time Tyclear and Griffin have been on their tyres and like Tyclear's catching, I don't think he'll be, yeah, he's definitely going to be pitting maybe this lap or next lap, which will cost him quite a bit. Griffin does finally come into the pits. That puts Tyclear in the lead of this race. Can he manage his tyres to the very end? He has done it before. Can he do it again? If he is able to do it again, I think it might be one of the most unexpected wins of the season. But anytime I see a track that is definitely a one-stop, Tyclear is always the person I keep an eye on. It's just a matter of how much Nobody Cares is catching at this point. 4 seconds is the gap with 9 laps to go. With the pace he is currently doing, Nobody Cares will probably gain within the next few laps. Nicholas gets ahead of Griffin. Griffin stuck right in the train between the V-Carb and the Aston Martin driver. He's going to struggle to get past those drivers to try and catch back up to his teammate.
Yeah, Nicholas doing well. Starting from the back.
Not as many off-track penalties as I thought there would be, to be honest. Only 2 drivers with 3 seconds. I think one with maybe 6, but most of the drivers have been doing well to keep it within the white lines. As Griffin makes a move around the outside of Nicholas, gets up to P6. That was a crucial move from him. All he's got to do now is try and make it past the Alpine driver, and then from there, actually, the Alpine driver undercut Griffin. So this is quite huge for him. He could potentially be on for a P3 finish if he can keep his position. Both the Tetris is about to make a move on the Alpine of Wolfrin. As I said before, these two have literally been fighting every single lap of this race. Come towards the end of the race now. In the final stages, Nobody Cares is right on the back of Alberta Tetris. Griffin gets past JB, so it's currently a Red Bull 4-5. But 5 seconds behind, he's got some catching up to do. Can Lewis gets past the Williams driver. I imagine he can. Definitely going to be doing it on this straight. Hopefully, but it's definitely within the range. Griffin also grabs the quickest lap of the race, 18.3. If he's able to keep that, I think that is also a point. I need to see if people get points for like pole and fastest lap. I think they do get one for pole, but I don't know about fastest lap. Rapsicola down in P8. Can he get past Nicholas? The two Red Bulls can with their fresh tyres. I'm sure Rapsicola can as well. Griffin's got a lot of catching up to do if he wants to gain even more points. Right now, as it stands, I think Nobody Cares will still be leading the standings. Imagine he's going to be passing Ty Clear on this straight. He's within the range. Unless Ty Clear has saved his ERS, he might be able to, but he doesn't. So I think right now Ty Clear is definitely on for a podium, which would be big
I
points.
mean, Lewis is 9 seconds and there's only 6 laps, so.
And he's not gaining actually. If you look
No,
at the time.
E2 could be a good chance for him as it stands.
The only thing Ty Clear really needs to worry about is his tyre management, because if it falls off quite a bit, that's when he will start to gain. I think if he can stay within DRS, or if Nobody Cares, he will be able to get a nice piggyback to the end of this race.
The Ty's front left doesn't look the happiest on the onboard, I must say. But it's the rears that are more of the issue. You see the left is much more like rougher looking than that right hand tyre.
As we mentioned before, I think we're at the part of the race where literally no one's next to each other, or there's a few DRS trains. I think there's only 2 drivers within DRS of another, or 3. We've got Griffin, Nicholas, and Pipe Tech, and Wolfrin as well. 4. Can any more moves be made? That was we caught into that right at the perfect timing. Vintrix and the Red Bull collide. Nothing major happening, but Griffin stays ahead for now. Vintrix falling back quite a bit. Lewis not gaining as much as I thought. Within these next 5 laps, he's going to have to gain 8 seconds, and that's going to be quite a challenge for him. Is on the fresher tyres, is definitely able to do it, but however is on the mediums, I believe, so he doesn't want to overcook his tyres and cost him too much. I think right now, no, we have more drivers on one stop. So far we got 5 drivers that were committing to the one stop. I think they should be able to go to the end. Istanbul on 16 laps. Four laps remaining, 7 seconds to find. Lewis is on the charge for Ty Clear. Ropsicola not really making any ground on the Alpine, so losing out some crucial points within the constructor standings.
Mirror getting close to Nicholas. Not enough for a move this time round. But if he stays as close as he is, I'd imagine he'll be looking for one on the next lap.
I think he
JB
needs to
is
be within at
also
least 4 attempts.
gonna make a move. Ooh. Got really close to the back end of Vintrix end.
And considering Vintrix had major wing damage, oh no, it wasn't him. Was it him or Vengeance? Vengeance, because it's tired. Oh, there's a yellow flag. Who is that for?
Well, that's a Mercedes.
That is Pipe Tech on the grass. He's able to keep it going. Andrea's into
Big
the
damage
pit.
to the right side of his
Yeah,
wing.
that has been ripped off. Another yellow flag. The other Mercedes, he's done the same thing in a different part of the track. However, I don't think he's got any wing damage. It's a very unfortunate day for Mercedes. JB finally gets past Vintrix on the straight. These two coming wheel to wheel into the corner. JB managing to edge ahead, or maybe not, but he does so. Wolfring getting ahead of Istanbul, or trying to. As the inside line coming towards turn 2, I believe. Manages to get ahead and stays ahead for now. Istanbulin's going to have to put up a fight to try and gain that one extra point for Ferrari. By the looks of things, Ty Clear is going to be getting a podium this race. Will it be P2 though? That is the question. Griffin definitely needs to do some catching up as well. He's got to gain as many points as he can if he wants to try and overtake Nobody Cares in later races. You know what? I think Stroll being lapped by 11 laps is crazy. I just noticed that. How much they fell off over the past season is insane. Especially with Adrian Newey joining the team. I thought they would have been like up there, but the engine.
I think the design is going to be alright. They just need to sort the engine problem.
Yeah. Do you think they made a mistake?
Oh, big snap from the Mercedes.
What Mercedes is it?
Yeah.
Alberto Tetris?
The Alberto, yeah. Nearly right in the path of Yeetmix, but Yeetmix managed to react to it in time.
Yeetmix goes for a dive. Tetris goes a bit wide, and there is a Red Bull off! Who is that? That is... No, it's not. I swear there's a Red Bull that's gone off. Oh, yeah, no, Griffin's gone off. He dropped down to P6.
Tyres starting to give up.
Yeah. 2.4 seconds is the gap to Ty Clear and Lewis. Do we think Ty Clear has got the tyre wear to last this extra lap? I think he is fortunate enough to get DRS from the drivers behind. Or, no, he's not actually, never mind. He's just ahead of them. But I think Ty Clear has done an absolute masterclass with his strategy here. Commits to the one stop and he has been rewarded for it. I think he could potentially be on for a P2 here.
Yeah, 2 seconds. Lewis has got to catch and then Lewis has to pass him in one lap. So
yeah. And I don't even think he's going to be within the DRS for the final lap. Because there's only 2 DRS zones and they're right at the beginning of the lap, aren't they? So
yeah, Ty should just have enough, I think, to hold off.
Alberto Tetris looking to overtake the Haas driver. The Haas driver been struggling around this track, but so has... Oh, it's actually saying that! He spins! Oh no! Oh, what is that timing? He spun around and has major wing damage. You know what? I'm just going to shut up from now on. Never mind. Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. That's all on me. I'm sorry, Alberto Tetris. That's on me. That's my fault. I shouldn't have said anything. Oh, no. As soon as I said it, he spun. And Lewis now within DRS, but the DRS zone is gone, and all he has to do now is just, it's going to be pure pace if he wants to try and overtake Ty Clear on this final lap of the race. 9 tenths is the gap coming into sector 2. What can he do as he's got 2 more sectors to go? It's going to be a tough one, but I think Ty Clear has just about got this. Depending on how bad his tyres are and how much he has to save coming into these next few sections of corners, I think he might have this down. JB on for a really good P4. Thought he was on for a one stop, but committed to the 2-stop instead. Still managing to get ahead of Griffin. Obviously, Griffin having that mistake, spinning around. But as we go into Nobody Cares, as he comes towards the final corner of this race and this lap,
Lewis
he is
is
going to
right there.
be our race winner. But the main fight is Ty Clear and Lewis. Can we get a last lap overtake? He has about 3 seconds of DRS before the line. Can he get the move to stick? Ty Clear blocks him in the middle and gets that P2 position. Lewis P3, JB P4. Griffin falls back to P5 after having a mistake on the lap before. Vintrix P6 but should drop down to P7. Mira P8. Nicholas P9. And Wolfram P10 for your top 10. Nicholas getting a really good race from P20 to P9. 11 positions gained. I'm sure that he's the driver of the day for this race, right? Wolfram gets P10. Istanbulin missing out by only 9/10 of a second. So that is a really strong race for us. Nobody Cares. Ty Clear had a really good strategy. You know what? I think Ferrari should just hire him. Maybe they'll start winning some more races. But yeah, P2 for him. And yeah, that was a great race. Obviously, I think the most unexpected thing of this race was Ty Clear getting the P2. Obviously, he definitely has the pace to be up at the front, but no one expected him to be near the podium. Obviously, with the likes of Nobody Cares, Lewis and Griffin on the grid. But yeah, that has been a strong race for all of these drivers. As the last driver across the line, Alberto Tetris, takes P13 with that wing damage. And after a disappointing race, hopefully he can bounce back next week, which will be Australia. Which is definitely going to rain Australia. As I don't think we'll do interviews today because, yeah, Somebody Cares grabs 25 points. Ty Clear grabs 18 points, which is if we go to the driver standings. That's right. I think he is on to grab quite a few positions. So yeah, he is going to be jumping up quite a bit. Ty Clear currently sits on 7 points. Ferrari sits on 18. Is that enough to jump the McLaren? No, I don't think it is. So they will stay P4 in the standings for now. Yeah, that was a really strong race from him and the Aston Martin. That has been me and Ty Clear. I will see you next week for Australia. If Ty Clear is not Ty Clear, why am I saying Ty Clear? Sorry.
Lanky.
If Lanky is if Lanky is here next week, he'll be joined with me. So we'll see you then. Good evening, good night, and no crap. What's the quote? I forgot the quote from Truman Show.